very damaging for kids, for children to be around that, because as you pointed out, sex is just going to give them a wrong sense of reality.
What was that? The Church of Credit Card Fraud?
Churches and their behaviors. Oh, that would be a good song, right?
This dude on stage right now is really the reason I opened. This guy Soren, Iranian, never talks about his people and what they're going through, at least in my spaces. But he'll sit here all day on, and he'll talk about Jews all day. How you doing, Soren?
Pretty good, Ted. Thanks for the introduction.
Was I wrong? Ash, hold on. I'm gonna Ash. You gotta learn how to navigate my room, bro. I got you. But Soren, was I wrong about what I said?
Not really. I mean, you've got a point there. You've got an extreme point. Do you know Andrew Tate?
I know Andrew Tate. Yes, I'm familiar with who he is. What about
There's an article about him in Jerusalem Post, which I just literally posted out. Look what he said about Sinwar. I mean, they made him as a hero.
Once again, you're talking about. First of all, why are you reading a Jewish paper, which is your prerogative? But you're talking about you brought Jews right up immediately. Again.
Yeah, I mean, they made him as a hero apparently. By the way that they selling this narrative to us in the past 12 months, he's hidden in the tunnel, amongst all the the hostages. They found him in the combatant uniforms without any hostages. So basically, Andrew Tate says, "I would love to have the same destiny as
Sorry,
Andrew Tate
did they find him?
No, Andrew Tate is the most searched man in the world. So
did they find him?
Say it again. Sorry.
Did they find Sinwar?
Did they find Sinwar?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Did they find Sinwar?
Did they find him?
Oh, so you're saying that he's not found yet? Okay.
No. I'm just saying you're just saying you're talking about how. I'm just talking about did they?
Oh no. It was just basically the information that we received from an accident.
Soren, did they find him?
No.
They did not. Okay.
No. Apparently it was just an accident.
But wait. They did or they didn't? Again, I'm confused. Was it an accident?
It was not an assassination. They just caught him by mistake.
Soren, so they did find him?
By mistake, yes.
I'm again, Soren, let's not get caught up in the how. Again, you have to understand measurable impact, right? Measurable impact doesn't discuss how you got there. Measurable impact discusses results.
I understand.
And as all societies are, as all modern societies are, we are results-driven. We are data-driven societies, right?
Let me push back there.
But there's no pushback. But Soren, it's not about it's not about pushbacking.
What about
right?
The Soren Show.
Being qualified than just that. It depends where you live.
No, I mean, these are the options we have. So they may not be qualified, but they're the options we have.
So you don't think Donald Trump or Kamala Harris are qualified?
No.
So the fact that Donald Trump was president for 4 years does not qualify him to be president again?
I mean, if you're factoring in his performance...
I'm factoring in everything!
From the last round, then I would say he did a good job. But
no, that wasn't the question. The question is, because he was president already for one term, that doesn't qualify him to be president again.
Just that fact that he was president?
No. Just that fact?
No.
Okay, all right. So you have to be poor. You can't be privileged. You have to be working class. I'm trying to figure out. I don't think a majority of our.
Well,
two of your pity Palestinians in Gaza, like it's not something bad, and to feel empathy and sympathy towards them as human beings for the suffering. I say that I'm sure that most of Israelis would feel the same, but maybe it doesn't. I'm not coming from a point of view that everybody is a rival of mine, and I'm sure that maybe Brad is just it's not knowing really what's going on. He just hear what he did, and that's all. So first of all, this is first. Secondly, settlers that are living in the area C, for us, they are not called settlers. Okay, for us, just people that are coming back to their own lands. Okay, they were just for the first war massacred in the West Bank. They were indigenous Jewish people that lived there 2,000 of years, and they were massacred in Hebron and in other places, and they were kicked in 48 from there. You don't speak about them, about their land, about their life, about the country. So they're not really settlers. Sorry, but they are locals. And even if Jewish people are coming from abroad, doesn't mean that they are settlers. For us, they are just
No.
having the right to play this land. So
Otherwise,
the fact that you are categorized them as settlers, this is something that only from your perspective, but you need to understand that this is not true.
Thank you, Asher. Again, Brent.
Could
I respond to that briefly? Okay, like you've gotten wrapped around whether they're settlers or whatever. That doesn't negate the basic point that I made, that you have two sets of people living side by side. One falls under the Israeli judicial system. One falls under a essentially a military judicial system with a
No.
with a 90. Let me finish, sir. Was a 99%.
No,
Again, I'm happy to cite my sources. I'm happy to do all that. Let me finish. One falls under a military justice system. One set gets different rations of basic things like water. One set gets less rations of basic things like water. One set of people essentially can get things done like permits to build houses for the population. The other set that I'm happy to post that. I mean, you have a legal process, but the process is essentially years and years and years if you're Palestinian, and it was a high degree of disapproval, whereas the settler population not so much.
Hold on. Asher, I know you hear me. So Brent, you sound, and I could be wrong, like you're saying that Israel is an oppressive state over the Palestinians. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying you have a population where you have two people living side by side under a different legal and political structure, and
we had that. Wait. We had that in America. You don't think that happens? The black population in America is definitely oppressed by the legal system in America, and I don't need to cite sources. I've lived it, so I've seen it. But go ahead.
But there's a difference between the Jim Crow South, where you had it written into law, and an imperfect system that tries to adjudicate the law based on equality for all. Is there imperfections with the American system today? Absolutely. But what you have in the West Bank is more akin to the Jim Crow South than what we have today.
Soren, I brought you back up, but if you get moved down again, I don't know if I can bring you back up. Asher, if I bring you up, you gotta respect the space. Go ahead, Soren.
No, I hear Marvin. Go ahead, Marvin. I'm listening to what you have to say. maybe it's not available. Look, I hear what you're saying. No, I'm actually here to support what you just said, Jay, which basically that there's no strategy in this war. Basically, when you go after the family of the, like, when you start, like, eliminating the parents, the children, I don't know, the brother, the sister, these people galvanize it. They're going to go back. There would be fuel hatreds. So I'm not talking about what is right or wrong again. We're talking about what would be the result. I don't really think that there would be, after this war ends, when you're talking about almost 70% of the population are the age of 18, they grew up with this conflict. They saw what happens with their own eyes. I think you got to expect more hatred coming out, and I understand the argument, the Second World War, denazification, all of this argument they're making, but I don't really think it's the same context. The Middle East is a different context, it's a different geography, and I'm very pessimistic. I'd love to be optimistic, but I'm very pessimistic. Even if this war ends today, we're literally talking about hundreds of thousands of people that coming out of it with full of hatred, obviously from both sides, but I can see that it's more from the Palestinian side for the obvious reason. They saw not only the total annihilation of the family members, they saw the total destruction of their houses, the infrastructure and everything. And apparently there's no strategy after the war ends. I never heard anyone, at least from the Israeli side, saying that we need to come up with, building houses.
Soren, listen, let's keep it real. And this is my opinion, and I believe it's the real opinion. The only way there's ever going to be peace in that region, ever, is there's a regime change in Iran, in your country. Your people are being killed and massacred and imprisoned. So once that is stopped, once that regime who supports the Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, once that regime is out of place, then there's a possibility of peace being brokered over there. And that's how I really see it.
Fair enough. I mean, there's many people argue that, but one can argue that like countries like Turkey would replace Iran's positions, and many countries like to lead that position. So I'm pretty confident that Qatar, not Qatar, but surely Turkey would love to be replacement of Iran's, because that Khalid Mashhad, probably the leader of Hamas. I mean, he's not a leader yet, but he's actually based in Turkey. So basically now, even in Hamas leadership, we got two different schools of thought. Some people argue that now, after the death of Sinwar, maybe Khalid Mashhad's become a leader. And if he becomes a leader, he's
Wait a minute. You just said earlier they didn't find Sinwar.
Leaning toward the Turkish camp, if you know what I mean. So I don't really think Iran's played a role, but if Iran's gone, there would be another country to replace Iran. I mean, it's not a science. Iran's obviously have its own geopolitical interests in this conflict. There's no doubt about it. It's not just only ideological. My argument's always been geopolitics also play in this conflict for many outside actors like Iran. But I don't really think it would be the end of it, because we know that the Palestinian struggle started before 1979, which is Iran's revolution. It was even 60s, 50s. Back then it was... Okay, that's it. No, what I'm saying is that I hope what you were saying was correct, but when I talk to the Palestinians in diaspora, I don't really think they actually like Iran's or like Iranians' ideology, but they still say whoever supports us, we support them. So that's the way they look at it. Struggle for the...
All right, thank you. Ion, are you there? Ion? He might have stepped away. Asher, did you want to chime in?
Sorry, I'm here. It took a while because my phone.
You called me?
Oh, hold on a second. So this is what I want to do, and I'll bring you guys back up in a few minutes. But I want to have a conversation with Ion, because at least I get real. I get all these bullshit talking points. So I brought up something earlier, Ion, and it just got glossed over, and I don't understand it. People are so worried about what's going on with the Palestinians. I brought up the fact that we have a pipeline to prison, some high school here in America for black youth, and that's the truth, because I've seen it with my own eyes, Ion. Why don't people want to talk about what goes on in our own country? I'm just curious. What do you...
I think that a lot of the times it's deflection, and it's media driven too, where they kind of... I don't even watch the media anymore, so I don't know what exactly is there and what's happening. But I really believe that there is some issues, just with deflection. That's what I.
So you brought up something earlier, and I brought it up, and you pinged off of it. What if reparations could happen? How do you see that? Like, is there a number? Is there a monetary number? Is there land? What does that look like to you?
I think that it's a lot. I think that it's education. I think that it's also money. I think that that is a different monster that I couldn't even just imagine. But even like I don't even want to put a number to it because I think it's offensive.
Vamos a Chicago.
I have you don't have to even mute up. We're just having a conversation. But I've heard from certain people in the black community. Right, I'm not a black American. That's really mean to picture that handsome dude. But some people say there's no such thing as a black community, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you think about that? And this is, by the way, from black people. I'm curious what you think.
Yeah. What do you mean, like a black? Like, what do you mean there's no such thing as a black community? Like, what context?
That wasn't my statement. That was a statement of a few other people.
What were they saying?
Well, they said there's no such thing. We're all individuals. We're not a community. And I'm like,
that's not how America sees. That's not racism, classism, all of the isms are definitely very prevalent in New York. In America. So, no, I don't care who says that there's not a black community. I think that comes from pain and hurt, possibly. But there definitely is a black community.
So I'm going to ask you something personal. Obviously, you don't have to answer. Have you experienced racism yourself?
Oh, definitely.
And I'm not talking about Clubhouse. I'm talking about in real life.
Oh, no. I remember this was the craziest thing that happened to me. I remember the first time. I was in Atlanta at the time. I remember when the first day that Trump got into office, somebody drove by and said the N-word. And I was like, what the fuck? I had never heard nobody say no shit like that. But I just think it's also not prevalent to, just white people doing it. I feel like a lot of people are tagging in to say things because I've heard, recently, a Latin American man who didn't speak no fucking English, but he knows the hardy R word perfectly fine. So I definitely think that there is prevalent. It's racism. Sorry, I'm tired.
It's all right, but let me ask you this question, and I ask you respectfully, right? Because I'm trying to learn. I legit want to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So the N-word, right? That's a taboo word. I get it. I never say it, but why is it accepted in the black community to toss it around? Do you understand the confusion that causes some people?
No, there's no confusion. Saying the hardy R and saying the GGA is something totally different. There is mass amount of trauma that is behind that word, and I think that people, not you specifically, but I think people play ignorant when it comes down to that. And the funny thing about it is that now that more other communities are starting to experience, the same exact things, not exactly, but seeing the people being biased and bigots towards them, I just wonder if they pull that back and they start to question maybe if there's some confusion, in different types of sayings or different types of ways how people express themselves. I've heard people say that, just because they can be able to be anti-Semitic just because of what they've been through, but you can't. No.
Well, I'll say this, and it's just my opinion. Here in America and probably throughout the world, racism's been around since the dawn of time, as has anti-Semitism, but back in the day when we grew up in New York, very rarely did you hear anti-Semitism. It was always under just the surface. Racism's always been out there. People have no shame when it comes to racism. And that's one of the things that really surprised me. Since October 7th, I can't believe how many people who, I was around on this app and even in real life showed their true colors. Because now it was okay. It was okay to be anti-Semitic.
I think that their anti-Semitism always existed. Did you forget that there's like a long history of Black and Jews actually being hung together?
Oh, listen. I also know that the civil rights movement, the Jews stood shoulder to shoulder with the Black community.
Mm-hmm. So I think that it always existed. I think that it was just more so underlining. You know what I mean? And I think that the Jewish community didn't speak about it. Okay, but in New York, it's a little bit different because of how, I'm gonna say this shit. You live in New York, so you know New York is like its own island. It's its own area. So what we don't experience here, when you get out into another place, you will have the same, it will be totally different. You'll get so shocked of what happens outside. It's almost like, what the hell is going on here? Especially when you go places like the South, or you go to the Midwest. It's just much different. So I can't even use New York as an example when we're looking at if there's anti-Semitism, because I don't think that that's everybody's experience.
Yeah, New York's definitely a melting pot. I think we just grew. When you grew up here, you grew up different. I guess. I said this story before. It's really true. The part of Brooklyn I grew up in it was 99.9% white. Right? I didn't know any Black kids growing up. I didn't learn really get educated on the Black community until I went to prison. And then the people with the most empathy in there were the Blacks. And I really got educated in there. It just bothers me, man. I don't understand why people look at somebody just automatically dislikes them for their color or if they're wearing a yarmulke. Bro, who gives a fuck? Live your life. What does it matter? I guess that's a New York attitude.
I think it is too. But things have changed. Things have definitely changed. But New York City is still a melting pot. I was out in the city yesterday. I was living my best life. And, I still don't see, I don't see these protests, all this other stuff that people are saying that's going on. It usually dies down quicker in New York because people don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm going to pivot off this conversation for a second because, like I said, you and I don't really get to chop it up often, and I have nothing but respect for you.
Another thing too, I feel like in New York that we're too busy. I don't know if they always used to make these jokes about in New York City that if you see a celebrity, you still got to get to work. So you move the celebrity out the way because it's I still got to get somewhere. But yeah, I thought that Drew has a lot to say in the chat. I would love to know if he could speak in person.
Yeah, Father Drew, you want to come up? I'll invite him. But before he gets up here, he's on stage. Father Drew, are you familiar with Priest?
Yeah, I've heard him quite a few times. I've been in his house a few times in the rooms that he's been in. He's very popular, I guess, here in Clubhouse. So, and he's been around. So yeah.
Yeah. So you were breaking down in the chat about the N-word. What do you disagree with anything that I said?
No, I don't. But I'll give you an example of what happened to me when I stupidly said it. And basically, it was a total joke. What I was saying, and it was the A version, and the person that I said it to got all riled up and was immediately pissed off, and in fact, he was actually he was my boss at the time, and I really didn't know what to do after that because I didn't. It wasn't meant to piss him off, or it wasn't meant to piss anybody off, or anything like that. But he got really upset, and so I had to apologized to him, profusely and really kind of be the bigger man and just say, hey, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was gonna piss you off and all that stuff. And he never got over it. I ended up walking off the job just because out of guilt. And so and I don't know if he ever got over it, but it's just one of those things where I that was my experience with that, and I really looked it up, and I was kind of educated on it, and it was the reason why, or at least from what I gathered from it was what happened was when people die, I guess it was in the war or something along those lines or whatever. But basically, what they would do is they would put some kind of a thorn or something in their body or something, and then they would call them the N-word, and like I was just like blown away. And that's what I gathered from doing a little bit of research, and it was just interesting. Anyway.
So what? I don't see the problem with what happened. I mean, you didn't get fired, you didn't get beat up. You decided to walk away from the situation.
Well, it was either that or I probably would have got my ass kicked, and I probably would have.
What?
The people I was working with were.
You wouldn't say these blacks. Go ahead.
No. But the majority of the people I was working with that day were black, and so I didn't even think of that. I thought everybody was cool and all, but apparently not. And so these guys, they work their ass off, and they, and when you're sweating and you're all riled up and all that stuff, things happen, and so I just decided that it was better for me to walk away than.
How long ago? How long after you said it did you quit?
Same day,
Well,
N-word.
So
Apparently you don't listen to the story?
the day before, I think it was the day before, after
The day
we were on the
before and
phone, he
after
was
that
hanging
had
out with-
happened. This
he
is
was
so
hanging out with,
stupid.
I think his friends or whatever, and so we were on the phone when I said it, and then the next day we had to go to work, and so that's literally the next day.
Wait, Father, let me ask you this. Did you call him the N-word out of anger?
No. I was making a joke. I was making a joke about something like I was saying something as I was a black person, and I didn't even really think about it at the time, and so.
What would you want to say something like you're a black person, you're white?
Well, because he was.
What does a black person sound like?
we all know. I mean,
No, we don't. That's what I'm asking you. Can you mimic one? Do I sound like a black person?
Don't do it, Father, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, let me stop you right there. Come on. I don't want to say this, but don't do that. Please don't. This is...
I'm confused. What do you mean? What does a black person sound like? I want to know.
Motherfucker, don't you know, motherfucker?
I'm not like triggered. I just want to know. I want to know what a black person sounds like. I'm excited to hear it.
I think a black person got a particular voice tone nine times out of 10 you can determine somebody's black or white, but I don't think you have to use the N word.
I have a question for you. Why is it that when we're asking a person, a white person, something about something they did, why do black people feel the need to like talk over them? Why do you do that?
I mean, he wasn't saying anything, and I was giving my opinion.
You guys told him not to speak.
I didn't tell him anything. That's my first time. I told him don't fall into the trap you set for me. I was joking.
That's the problem. That's the problem. You should have.
In your opinion, it's the problem, not mine.
Nobody was talking to you.
I mean, I'm on the stage, so everyone's talking to me.
No, we were having me and that man was having a conversation, but I was asking him about what happened at his job. And two, I'm assuming black men came up on stage and told him not to say anything.
I got invited on stage. I was in the audience listening to Jay Paul.
I have no problem.
I know. I don't care if you did have a problem. But the point is, I can say what I want to say. Yeah. I wasn't rude or disrespectful to you or him.
It was. He interrupted.
I'll tell you why I said it. So first of all, okay, it's already an uncomfortable conversation, as we can hear. It's so obvious. There's literally no need to rehash this whole thing out. And we know the embarrassment factor of it. It's like, what's the point? Like, we get it was a messed up situation, right? We can move on with a better conversation than. I'm not telling you. I'm saying you. I'm saying
I asked him a question and I wanted him to answer it.
I got you.
Yeah. That's so rude.
I'm saying that it is becoming very uncomfortable, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people. Two of us came on the stage at the same time. Think about that.
Was it uncomfortable for you as a black person?
No. It wasn't uncomfortable for me as a black person. I could tell it was uncomfortable for him.
How do you know that? Are you like in his white skin?
You can hear it in the tonality of his voice and the way he stutters.
Does he sound like a white man?
Yeah. It's not about whether he sound like a white man or not. It's the fact that it's like, why are we going down this road? Like, we get it. Okay.
You know why that's so royal? Let me help you out. The reason why we're going down this road, are you new to the room? When did you get in?
I was in here for about about 20 to a half hour.
Okay, if you scroll up, that man who was nervous was very loud in the chat about how.
I read it.
Okay, so I wanted him to explain himself on the stage. That's how he got here. But I just found it weird that him in the chat was very much so popping, and then he came upstairs, and you felt he was nervous. I didn't feel he was nervous. Neither was I triggered. I'm not rehashing anything. I want him to tell his story. And I feel like that was so rude of you guys, because he was really trying to get out what he wanted to say. And you guys acted like I'm assuming, what he felt was, some freaking crazy people, and came up here and stopped. That probably scared him. That's why he probably got nervous. So I don't know. I think that next time we should never assume that somebody is like he was very comfortable with me. I mean, you guys scared him away. So you guys are the big black dudes who came in, scared the big black away. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for being a big black dude, but hey, it's not about scaring anybody away. It's the fact that it was like I think we could have had a much better conversation, even with that. But just asking, what do you think black people sound like? Like, come on, bro, really? You want to really do that?
Yeah, I want to know.
Oh my God!
I mean, do you think that black people have a distinct sound?
Do I think that black people have a distinct sound? I mean, that is what they say about us. However, trust me, I've known a lot of white people who people might assume is black, but then I know that they're not black. So, and I know the same thing about black people who they assume is white, but we know. So I try to stay away from that. Look, I lived on the planet long enough to know better. So
let me just say this real quick before I keep it. I changed the title from black. Oh, I gotta change it from black and whites have an honest conversation.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting. I always try to understand. Maybe somebody could teach me why race is such a polarizing subject.
Are you going to? Ooh, I would love to go down this avenue.
What I found weird is AI act like black don't have a sound, but somehow he knows that I'm black and Roy is black. I mean, I guess what you want to say the PTR, I guess, but I mean, clearly you can tell by my voice I'm black. So I told you, so it was just a weird question.
No, I didn't say, no, that's not what I said. I said I'm assuming black people. The reason why I assume you were black is because you jumped into the conversation at that point and told him not to speak. And you said that, we shouldn't want a white person to say, I was like, okay, maybe because you would say we instead of, saying white, so then it was a dead giveaway that you're black.
Hey, so Alan, let me ask you a question. I ask respectfully, because I definitely don't want any smoke with you. Do you feel, and I'm not saying this to disrespect you, Akeem, I'm just trying to get Ian's view. Do you feel he was white knighting it?
Yes, I feel like they both were. And I don't know, Jay, did you think that me and him were having a bad conversation? I think the conversation was great.
No, I didn't think it was a bad conversation. I think he was digging himself deeper. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think he was. I think for me, I'm not, I don't go around, upset the way, white people feel about black people. I just wanted to know what was his experience with saying this N-word. And the craziest thing is he said, no, the funniest thing is when he said, you guys know how you sound. Like, what? Why can't we discuss that? Well, that is, and then to hear two people get up on stage who are, I'm assuming is black, say, we don't need to go down there. I'm like, no, we do. We do.
No, I wanted to go down there, but the way, in my opinion, of course, I'm no great expert, but you ask them what black men sound like, it's not the
sound like you.
The best way, in my opinion. The best way to ask them, why do you feel like sounding black, you gotta say nigga? That would have been the better course.
How do you know we weren't going to get there?
Hey, we could have kept talking. I told you jumping down on me and Royal.
No, I didn't say that. You guys scared him away, Akima. He left. So we couldn't have him away. Nobody got scared.
He was uncomfortable. We just gave him an opportunity to leave.
Well, hold on. I think he was uncomfortable because of his admission of what he said. And he didn't know how to backtrack from that. That was my opinion.
Exactly. No. Then he found the gap to leave off the stage.
But we wouldn't know because two black people interrupted the conversation.
But we did know. That's the point. We literally knew. Come on, bro.
Well, Ian, you said earlier, right? You said earlier, and I'm glad. Weedman, I owe you a call, and I apologize. Life has been crazy. But Jay on stage, Jay Weedman, he's mixed. And you asked a great question earlier. What's all the heat? I'm paraphrasing, obviously. What's all the heat for mixed people? But Weedman's mixed, and I don't have any smoke with this guy.
Weedman, is your mom white or your mom black?
So I'll give you the answer, but I'm gonna highlight it.
Well, Weedman, I hope you don't think I was doxing you, by the way, because you've spoken on it.
Right, nigga, my name's on my motherfucking PTR. My information.
About being mixed.
Anyone and anybody can find me. I'm not worried about that. With that being said, I'm not worried about it, brother. You're good. You're good. But I get that every time that comes up, and I only get that on Clubhouse. It's a very interesting question. I only actually see race conversation on Clubhouse, so it's kind of weird for me. My father is black. I don't know why that matters so much, but to the Israelites it seems to matter a lot.
I knew it. You know why we asked that. You know I knew it. Are you from New York?
Nah, I'm from South Florida.
Okay, I knew it. And you that's why you gave that spiel around, because you knew. Oh, this is just so interesting.
But wait.
Well, I've been in those spaces on Clubhouse, and I've had to fight in TDT and hold my ground and earn my keep, because of the FBI.
Well, let me hold on, Trump. I'm trying to learn. Why was that question? What was the thought behind that question? Why did you?
Well, because it's important. We know in Jewish language and lineage, sorry, not language, that your lineage is passed down from your mother, right?
He said, "Listen, you're really famous. You're just a
For Jews, yeah. I don't know about anybody else.
It doesn't make any sense, sir."
Yeah, but I think, because that is a question in the Jewish community a lot. The first thing people ask, who's a Jew, your mom or your dad? So I think that I like to bring it to culture, because women hold culture. So when I see people, it just lets me know your mindset. For me.
Hold on. Whatever you just said just triggered these dudes. Okay.
I know. Very interesting. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. I grew up in a black neighborhood. I don't think there's no set rule that if your father was black, you was black. That's how I grew up. I'm not sure how you grew up, but I get how the Jewish people see it. But as far as I ever knew, that if your father was black, you were black.
That's what I got to say.
Genetically, that's not how things work. So we can assume, but a black. So you think? So Hakima, you think that a white woman can create a black person?
Yeah, but if the man is black, of course. You can look at Weed Man. She created one right there.
Oh my God!
So let me say this. I want to address this part real quick. You got, another thing that's continuously I hear on Clubhouse is this Jewish thing. I want to be very clear. I'm also adopted by 2 white people, right? And one of those white people were Jewish. And I grew up around that community of people as well as I did. My sister's Korean, and me and my sister are mixed, and our parents were white. And I want to be very clear. A lot of the things that I hear on these stages on Clubhouse are very one-sided and from a very personal perception without any real experience living on both sides of that line, where you're one that people may not always know what you are or who you are. And in that, you have people that watch what they say, and you have people that don't. And I just think it's interesting because Jews have never... my first bad experience with a Jew was in the medical business. They didn't like my young black ass and how I came in like a fucking wrecking ball and during COVID and took all their business. But that was it. Other than that, I never had an issue. When I was homeless, they made sure I had clothes on my back and places to bring my stolen goods and all that shit. I mean, there was a community there. So I don't think Jews actually look at things a lot of the ways I hear on Clubhouse. Yeah.
You're taking the I know you're black now. I definitely know you're black. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying though, I think that Jews get a very weird rep because of what's going on. And let's be real, the Jewish community is just like the black community. There is no set type of individual, y'all, right? There's different levels to it, there's different religious bases, then there's different environmental factors in which they grew up in. And see, so we get into these conversations and they are very specific. Your experience will be very different from everyone else's on this stage. And in the conversation we are having, I just think we all need to acknowledge that, because it becomes an argument over what's right and wrong or what's factual and not. And in most cases, there is none of that, if that makes sense. There really is none of that from a perception or a perspective point of view.
I mean, you called your sister mixed, and you called yourself mixed. So, I mean, I don't think that anything I said was wrong. I don't know why a biracial or mixed I've never, I have sisters who are mixed. My mom is biracial. I've never seen, such a big thing where people are so upset by, people calling them mixed or biracial.
So, Ian, I have a question as the token white guy on stage. Why is there such I don't even know the right word, but arguments over whether you're light skinned or black skinned or you're dark skinned.
Like an emphasis.
It makes no sense to me.
I don't know. I don't know. Let me tell you why. It's prevalent because of hip hop culture. But that's not a black thing. Aesthetics is and skin complexion is more so heavy highlighted with black people. But it happens in every culture.
So check it out. I was taught that it actually had everything to do with slavery. And that's because the light skins were the house niggas, right? And these are where a big rift started. And if you even hear the conversation today, niggas will be like, oh, white people are mixed people are traitors. And if you look at all the motherfucking freedom fighters, a lot of them motherfuckers was actually biracial.
But we've been, if you're half white, you have no right to use that word.
Yeah, I'm told that all the time, but I've been using it my whole life. Ain't nobody put a black eye on me since. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I am who I am, and I speak the way I speak based on my environment. So
can we go back to what you just said? No, this is important because you just said earlier that you never have had this in real life, like nobody. And then you just also mentioned that people have been saying your whole life that you're not allowed to say nigga. So which one is it? Like,
no, I didn't say that. I said only on Clubhouse have I ever heard that.
Yeah.
Only on Clubhouse have I ever had any racial inclination towards me on the black side of me.
Clubhouse is new, so what?
Oh, yeah. I've never experienced. I've only been called a monkey. I've only experienced white racism in real life.
Oh, okay. There was another question I have. Shit, this is important. No. So, Jay, this also happens in Africa. Colorism is not like just a black thing in America. It happens everywhere. It also happens in India. It also happens.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. So.
Wait, Brian, don't even mute up. I have another question because you just triggered my thought.
Go ahead.
Why? And I've seen this on Clubhouse. I haven't seen it in real life because I'm a white American. But what's the debate about people being from the Caribbean and not being black?
I think that there's
not American black.
That black Americans.
That's what Dominicans mean when they say they're not black, by the way. But people always get that shit confused.
Dominicans, but there are black people in the Dominican Republic.
Obviously, it's skin color, but we know that. You see, we're humans. Humans come in all shades.
Yeah.
Indian people, I think Indian people are blacker than black people.
Some are black and some are not. Dominican Republic is a place. It's
no.
And dark skin people have always
that was given. It's a code.
It's a code.
You know what I'm saying? It's a code that was used for trade.
Oh.
Back in the day, you know what I'm saying? It's a code. Wait, they could be the niggas down the planet. Brown. They're not from here. They're not from the U.S. And you know what I mean? Like, they're not.
I have a question. Why does everybody want to be black? Like, what is this obsession?
No. Okay, you have two sides. You might have people like every other culture, like maybe they're missing out on something, they want to be something. But then you got people like me, right? We just want to be what we are, right?
Which is Dominican.
And people talk to us like, oh my God, you want to tell us like, oh, you want to be so bad. No, I'm from New York, Washington Heights. My first language was Spanish, and then I learned English. New Yorkers have a way of talking. A lot of that, like you said, hip hop, a lot of the influence, a lot of things. I can't control what was influenced, like what was bestowed upon me. You know what I'm saying? When I'm playing in the parks and things like that. And that's why I sound like how I sound. Nobody's trying to be nothing. I'm so proud of being who I am. I would not change it.
How do you talk? You don't talk like a black person. You talk like you're from New York.
Right. And they think that I'm trying to be black. I've heard it on this app. Nobody's ever told me in real life
that. Black person.
I've only heard it on this app, by the way.
Hey, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me just say one to Byron real quick. What's up, Byron? Did you want to chime in on this conversation we're having? Byron?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It just seems like we're just.
It's like a moment of like you guys are all gonna cry and like because you've been hurt by a black person or some black person told you something. I gotta get the tissues and stuff. Like,
You
is this
gotta
a
give
black
a chance so we can figure that out, man.
No, I just want to know where route the conversation can go, and so if I just know to shut up and let you guys complain about all the black things that people black have done to you, because I just want to know what route are we going.
There should be a separate room to address the community, though, like on the app.
Wait, hold on, Byron, hold on 1 second, I'm sorry. So Little Trump, is it offensive to you that I opened the room and I put the title to Black and Whites Have an Honest Conversation in the bar?
No, it's not offensive. I feel like it's actually appropriate because I feel like it is, it's about time. It's very overdue that we have a conversation.
So why should you have a separate room on the subject that we're talking about? I'm just curious.
Because this one, right, honest conversation, right, even now, like I'm reading it, it's not going to be honest. We have to hold people accountable first, both sides separately. Then once they come down from the clouds that they're on, both sides, then we can both have a honest conversation because it's like both parties are like humbled and they're both like self-reflective and not just thinking like the other person is the enemy, you know?
But Little Trump, I have to be honest, I'm going to be honest. I think nobody's lied since they've been on stage. Everybody's been who they are. But let me give Byron a chance to jump in, then I want to go to Islam.
I appreciate it, guys. It's hard when we're all looking through our own kind of lenses and biases, right? Like, that's just the truth. Like, but for me, guys, I grew up, just like someone mentioned, they grew up in New York and they sound the way that their environment impacted them. I grew up in everything but white homes, right? So I'm confused a lot. So I'm really interested in the impact of these kind of conversations just for my clarity, because the challenge is, too, is my skin reflects people's own biases, and I got to deal with it as well. But my understanding is human-based and how we all operate, regardless, and the conscious, subconscious kind of concepts. And that's what bridges us all together. And that's kind of what I try to help people understand outside these boxes, guys. But I know they're true, and we got to have conversations about them. But I'm really here to understand more than I am to kind of just throw out all my biases, right? And I appreciate Jay kind of helping with that, but brother, I can't do it without everybody else, and I'm on a mission to fucking fix shit. So there you go.
I have a question. Why do y'all feel the need to educate black people? I don't think that you need to do that. I think you need to educate. If you want to be humans, you have to talk to people who participated in, taking humanity from people. And I don't think that that's black American people. Not to say that black Americans are perfect, but like, why is it always let's all be human when it comes down to black people? Like, and I'm just also confused on what are y'all confused about? Like, you think that black people in America want to be like black and just want to hold and gatekeep blackness? Like, where is this energy coming from? Because it's weird. Byron, Jay, Lil, you guys all said that you grew up with great black people and you love blackness and you got these black scents and all this other stuff. But now you're saying that you come up on
I have mixed race children, so it comes from a
That culture is very tainted, my brother.
That's kind of where I'm.
Wait, you said black culture is tainted?
Yeah, it's not the only tainted one. Even if you go to DR, certain neighborhoods, very tainted, bro. Very.
You gotta clarify what that means exactly.
Education.
Yeah, that's a very interesting word to use, tainted. What does that mean? What does it mean when you say that?
Expand on it.
As you have a black
community of individuals, you can see everybody like.
Can you imagine that? Like, this man is saying that the community. So why do you So why are you speaking like a black person in New York?
I'm from New York. You see what I'm saying? You did it too.
But Trump, hold on. What is tainted mean? When you say tainted, give us your definition of what tainted means.
Very polluted. Very polluted.
Wait, hold on. Do not use one words to describe what you're trying to say because it kind of doesn't make any sense.
It does say tainted.
Wait, Trump. Let me finish the sentence. When you say tainted, give a full-out sentence or a definition. Polluted, the same thing. What does that mean?
I got you. I'm perfectly capable of giving it to you. You ready? So, going to school, right? Going to school. You can tell the toxicity, right, of certain individuals, right? And I hate to say it. I hate to fucking say it. Most of the kids that were doing the bullshit were black, bro. Inner city black. I'm not talking about suburban black. There's a whole different story there. You have no problems with the suburban kids. No problems with the suburban black. You got the problems with the ones from the projects. Right? I've seen it. They take their frustrations out in school. Whatever's going on in their home. They go and beat up on a Mexican kid. Right? They go and beat up on whoever the fuck throws shit. I'm telling you. The music, everything just played a part. You could see the aggression, bro. And that's real. That's real. And that's not only for that group of black people, but it's that culture. Because you got white boys that wanted to be that.
Everybody mute up.
I don't know.
Hold on. Little Trump, hold on. Everybody, hold on.
Slurs being
Hold
called
on a second. Hold on. All right, hold on. Trump, hold on. Because Classy, I'm sorry, Felon, I think wants to push back. Classy, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Absolutely not. Frankfurt
It might
Simmons
be
has
good.
sold his union out to his underworld.
So I don't want to push back, but I do want to reframe the conversation because I think we are not speaking in terms of reality of where the responsibility of racism lies. Racism is a white problem. It's everybody else's burden, but it's a white problem. And white people have the inability for self-assessment in that area. So because, in general, and I'm talking about as a collective, right? As a collective, white people have the inability to look within and take responsibility for the negativity and the harm that they have dispatched into the world. So when they speak about racism, they speak about it as if it's a black problem. They speak about it as if black people need to do the labor to fix it. They speak about it as if it's a problem that originated from somewhere else outside of themselves. So there is no conversation between races that needs to happen. There needs to be group therapy within the white community to fix their issues. I'll land 1 second. To fix their issues so everyone else can be free.
All right. If you don't move up, I'm moving it down. Hold on. Okay, thank you. I tried. So, Classy, the question I have for you, and I'm asking respectfully because we all have our biases, right? Can black people be racist?
No, fuck no.
And you just proved my point.
Just prove my point.
No. Answer the question. Let's see how intellectual you are.
Black people cannot be racist.
Let's see if you can see
No,
systematic.
Can you move Little Trump down because we can't have an intelligent conversation?
I'll mute up. You don't have to.
Everybody, hold on. Just let her finish speaking. And Classy, before you go, I just want to say, like, this is just, like, it's so funny because, you see how all the black people are very calm, very demure, and you see how the Dominican and the white person, like,
Time out.
Flag on the
player. I'm muting everybody because I know you hear me. I haven't yelled or screamed once. Neither did Byron. I don't know who else is white on the stage. Well, Alyssa, but she hasn't said 2 words.
Well, is Vinny white?
As far as the Dominican is concerned, that's on him.
I muted up.
I've never been accused of being demure either, so I'm sorry.
You even said it wrong.
Demure.
God damn.
So I never even used the word. It's my first time ever saying it.
Demure.
Hold on, guys. Vinny, hold on a second. I'm going to go to Isla and I'm going to go to Vinny. Isla, how you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you guys? I didn't finish. Jay, but I didn't finish.
I'm sorry. My apologies, Classy. The mic.
Can we move Little Trump down while we have an intellectual conversation? Because we can't with him on the stage. Just for a second. Just for 5 seconds. Thank you. So, Jay, I wanted to say you proved my point, right? As soon as I asked you to look within and assess who you are, you immediately pivoted back to me to ask me what my problem is with race. You see how that worked?
Well, I didn't ask you if it was a problem. What I said, and first off, I've never shared space with you, so I say this respectfully. I know racism is a problem in America. I know it's white rooted. I know there's a pipeline to prison. Believe me, I understand it. I've never claimed to be a black man in America or understand the black plight in America, but I recognize it, and believe it or not, and I know I'm going to get blowback for this. I try to help any way I can. Mm-hmm. So that question was honest because you may not see it this way, but my lived experience, I've experienced racism just because I was white.
But Jay, my point is, and thank you for that. My point is, instead of you having a deeper conversation about who is the originator of racism, you pivoted to can black people be racist? You tried to psychoanalyze black people. You did not do the self-analysis, is my point, with all due respect. Thank you.
All due respect.
And I appreciate your share, I really do. Isla, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you want to chime in, ma'am?
Wait, I would like to address.
Hold on a second, bro. See, I'm gonna have to move you down again. Okay, but Chuck, you gotta have a little stage decorum, bro. You're gonna get plenty of space, I promise. I was talking to this young lady right now.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
I hope I'm saying your name right.
Oh, it's Isla. It's a silent.
Isla, I apologize.
Yeah.
Did you want to chime in?
Yeah. So, am I chiming in about what Classy said, or
whatever you
like? Let's see. It says, well, I just think to what she said, I guess talking about racism, so I think that's what you guys are on. I personally think that racism can exist on both sides, and I do think that when it comes to what Classy said, I could see somebody experiencing that, but also in some ways, I think another issue that maybe the issue is that they kind of feel like sometimes when white people say they have empathy with racism or they empathize with you, it turns into more so like they feel like you're, like she said, like kind of like you're taking on the pain of what happened to them because you feel some sort of guilt. But I think it's better just acknowledging it. Like you said, Jay, you're aware that racism exists even on your spectrum. You've experienced racism, so I think that was a valid point.
Thank you so much.
I just want to say this really quick. The term racism, because I want us to use this correctly. I think we're mixing discrimination and racism.
No, we're not.
Or biasm.
Yes, we are. We are mixing it.
Vinny, why are you so aggressive?
I just thought of that.
What?
All right, finish.
You okay?
Finish, and I'm gonna talk after.
You're so aggressive.
I'm gonna tell you the reality of what it is. The factual.
Are they flirting right now? I think they're flirting. They're flirting.
We have two rules in this room. There's a one mic policy, and when a mod is speaking, just mute up, please. Get up.
Can't talk after.
I'm sorry. Of course, aggressive. Right after I'm finished, as soon as I mute my mic, I'm gonna give the mic to you, and I'm gonna give you, your time to speak. Once I'm finished, okay?
You got muscle tone.
So racism was created because one side was more was brutal to another. That was Europeans to blacks. Okay, so you can't reverse that and change it and say that just because a black person is discriminating against you, a specific one. That's not a system. There's actually a system that was created to take humanity away from black people. Black people cannot do that to white people in America. They can't even fucking do it in Africa. So it just, please, like this, you have been discriminated against. Nobody was racist towards you. Okay.
Is discrimination better?
Trump, hold on, Vinny, hold on. I got you, Vinny. I make my own cue, man. I got you. I'm gonna give you a chance, I promise. But you know what? I'm sitting here listening to everybody speak, and I'm really stuck on what Classy said, and she's right. So, I do need to reflect. And Ion, you're right as well. So I just want to say that. But I'm going to give the mic to Vinny, and then I want to welcome El Normo and Brad to the stage. Vinny, the mic is yours.
Yeah, this new academic definition of racism, the systemic racism, that's not what racism is. The reason why people said racism is so bad for the last fucking 50 years is because of interpersonal racism. Period. Not systemic. No one talked about systemic racism. Maybe in some small academic aspects they were,
But other than that, racism was interpersonal racism. That's the just prejudice nonsense that you're talking about, just discrimination. Anyone could be racist. Any fucking race can be racist. If you don't understand that, you're fucking retarded. That's it. Anyway.
Can I?
Damn.
I got someone typed in the chat.
He's aggressive. I mean, that's his nature. I mean,
It's aggressive. Too aggressive. So aggressive.
That's the funny thing about it. I'm like joking. So.
Well, Vinny, let me ask you, what are you? What are you black? Are you white? Are you Spanish? Vinny? Oh, he left. He ran. Hold on, Trump. Let me say good morning. Hold on, Trump. I got you, bro. Let me say good morning. Well, I'm gonna put you down because I can't do that passive aggressive bullshit.
Yeah, that's annoying.
If there are
opinions on
yes, because if the enemies put boots on the ground in a NATO country, the United States is obligated to put American soldiers or to defend NATO countries. Yes, go ahead. That concerns me a lot.
Yeah, Ukraine's not in NATO, but we.
But Ukraine is surrounded by NATO countries. Right. Yes.
But but North Korea is sending troops to Russia to fight against Ukraine. I mean, it's not really directly involving NATO at this point, but are we going to sit back and let Ukraine get outmanned like that? I just was wondering what other people's opinions or if anybody sees concerns in that.
All right. Thank you. We'll throw that out there. Is there? Okay, you're good. Okay. Let's welcome Hero to the stage. Good morning, Hero. It's a pleasure to see you back on Ask Uncle Steve. What would you like to talk about?
Good morning. I just wanted to address this issue of testing for voters.
Yes, please do.
I think that anybody who suggests some test or
Would you agree with this statement?
I would have to know what that person is trying to say. I can't agree with it unless I know what they mean by it.
Well, systemic racism has
buzzword.
very simple originations. Nora, come on now, systemic.
So I would have to know what you're talking about. What system, for example?
All of the systems.
They removed me from the room. It's awesome.
And whether or not we should have to pass a test to vote, and whether or not democracy will come to an end if Donald Trump is elected, and whether or not we should subscribe to specific theories. One thing I know for 100% fact: America isn't easy. America is hard citizenship. Don't go away. We'll be right back on Ask Uncle Steve. Oh, I blew that. Hold on a second, guys. We'll try that one more time. America isn't easy. America is hard citizenship. Don't go away. We'll be right back on Ask Uncle Steve. Sorry about that, y'all.
For the last couple of months, Senator Rumson has suggested that being president of this country was to a certain extent about character. And although I've not been willing to engage in his attacks on me, I've been here 3 years and 3 days. And I can tell you without hesitation, being president of this country is entirely about character. For the record, yes, I am a card-carrying member of the ACLU, but the more important question is, why aren't you, Bob? Now, this is an organization whose sole purpose is to defend the Bill of Rights. So it naturally begs the question, why would a senator, his party's most powerful spokesman and a candidate for president, choose to reject upholding the Constitution? Now, if you can answer that question, folks, then you're smarter than I am, because I didn't understand it until a few hours ago. America isn't easy. America is advanced citizenship. You've got to want it bad, because it's going to put up a fight. It's going to say, you want free speech? Let's see you acknowledge a man whose words make your blood boil, who's standing center stage and advocating at the top of his lungs that which you would spend a lifetime opposing at the top of yours. You want to claim this land as a land of the free? Then the symbol of your country cannot just be a flag. The symbol also has to be one of its citizens exercising his right to burn that flag in protest. Now show me that. Defend that. Celebrate that in your classrooms. Then you can stand up and sing about the land of the free. I've known Bob Rumson for years, and I've been operating under the assumption that the reason Bob devotes so much time and energy to shouting at the rain was that he simply didn't get it. Well, I was wrong. Bob's problem isn't that he doesn't get it. Bob's problem is that he can't sell it. We have serious problems to solve, and we need serious people to solve them. And whatever your particular problem is, I promise you, Bob Rumson is not the least bit interested in solving it. He is interested in two things.
Money.
And two things only. Making you afraid of it and telling you who's to blame for it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win elections. You gather a group of middle-aged, middle-class, middle-income voters who remember with longing an easier time, and you talk to them about family and American values and character. And you wave an old photo of the president's girlfriend, and you scream about patriotism. You tell them she's to blame for their lot in life. You go on television, and you call her a whore. Sidney Ellen Wade has done nothing to you, Bob. She has done nothing but put herself through school, represent the interest of public school teachers, and lobby for the safety of our natural resources. You want a character to debate, Bob? You better stick with me. Because Sidney Ellen Wade is way out of your league.
And it brings up an interesting
He's a
question
fraud and a terrible
about character.
person.
Donald Trump.
Kamala is a fraud and a terrible person.
Character, as John says, trust. I said earlier, I don't believe anything out of Donald Trump's mouth that I can't verify with 3 independent sources. I've posted at the top on the Jumbotron a recent article from the Pew Research Center. Republicans, young adults, now nearly as likely to trust information from social media as from national news outlets. Last week on the show, I put up on the Jumbotron about our trust in media. I remember back, and yes, I'm showing my age, the most trusted man in America, Walter Cronkite, okay? We believed everything that he says. Now, our trust in media is shot to shit. Yeah, look at where the country is going, okay? I don't believe anything that I read unless I independently verify it by a couple of different sources. Welcome, everybody, to Ask Uncle Steve. Much thanks to Cora and John for helping do the heavy lifting. Thank you, everybody on stage, for contributing. Andrew, Ben, Benjamin, Hero, Brian. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for listening, participating. Just keep it respectful. We encourage everybody, especially the new people, to come on stage, because unlike a lot of other clubhouse rooms, this is not an echo chamber. We put a premium on the new speakers. We want to hear what you have to say. Don't go away, and we'll be right back with the last hour of Ask Uncle Steve.
Comes a time when you're drifting. Comes a time when you settle down.
Motherfuckers playing. Ooh, they removed me from the room. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Things are going swimmingly well. So imagine Steve or Cora like checked in on my YouTube to see if I was live streaming, and then they kicked me. 0 for 2. 2 for 2. Talking Apes don't kick me.
That's insanity. I don't know how people think, but I tell you what, my eyes was open to a couple people last night. I'm just like, hey, the year we in, if you choose to be a certain way, just don't hide behind it and come up here on these stages all triggered and stuff. Just, live your life, man. Like,
living your life.
It's crazy.
Living your life.
Now, if you come up on this stage, you won't have to kill that troll voice. Like, it is 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. My ears cannot take the trolling today. I actually like your regular voice. You have a nice your regular voice. It's nice. Can you talk in your regular voice if I let you up?
Hello.
I'm telling you, like,
Hello.
just not this quick. Give me a couple hours.
Hello.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to address your title.
Okay.
So I think when you're forming a union, I don't know, it's very complicated nowadays with these young people. And if you're just getting by, there's absolutely no reason to get married. There's reasons, but there's not good financial reasons to get married. The state, our governments do not support marriages. They don't support a man and a woman getting married to support their child. What they do is they favor the mother who can optimize and maximize what they can get out of government by being a single mother. So we incentivize people not to get married and to become welfare recipients for health insurance, for paying your rent, for what, just that type of a welfare system. And I've seen it, firsthand with young women that I know that are, living on the edge, just getting by. Sometimes they can't afford to pay their bills, or they got to wait till their next paycheck to pay their bills. So that's the type of situation we live in. Now, if you go to Russia, it's a different type of system. If you get married and have a kid, you get a $10,000 check. Boom. Here you go. This is for your kid. This is for you to help support the child. So we live in a completely backwards ass society that degrades women, degrades men, degrades the family. And that's my opinion.
I was reading a book, and it was talking about how the social welfare program is a silent weapon used in the quiet war. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Masons to me.
Masons. This also deals with judges and lawyers, because once you get married, you just signed a contract with the state, which fuck all these vast abstracts like states and corporations. We're just people fucking over each other. So lawyers and judges are gonna fuck over you when your emotional wife goes to town, and then you get emotional. They get it, like, it just never ends. So when you go to your county or your office to get your marriage certificate, they have some priest sign off of, so you can go back and file it with the state and they can put it in their database. So when you want a clean bill of health and a good record, you got to go back before the judges and the lawyers to remove that certificate that you and your wife just signed. The whole system, it's all fucked up, because it's so much money and so much time to get married and to get divorced that there's absolutely no reason to get divorced. Maybe some states have it simpler, where there's like a no contest divorce, where when you're ready to divorce, you just go and you file and you get divorced, and there's no judges and lawyers in the mix and clerks and this and that. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm never gonna get married ever. There's no reason. I will have like a spiritual union, but for financial reasons, it just doesn't make sense, and legally it makes no sense. But it all has to do with money and transactions. I am again complete.
I was literally just talking to one of the guys I date. We was literally just talking about this last night. We were on the phone, and we were kind of talking about marriage and the way we look at it and things like that. And I was telling him the exact same thing. And I was pretty much telling him, when it comes to marriage, the whole legal documentation of it is not, because I look at marriage as like a spiritual thing. It's a covenant, right? I make these vows to my husband, and I make them before God, and the whole legal documentation of it, I don't really feel it necessary. But that's for me. He actually kind of agreed, but it's
Well, every man is gonna agree.
The only thing that makes a difference is the money aspect of it. I mean, you have legalism things to it, but you can put somebody on things legally without them being your, on documentation, legal documentation spouse. So yeah, that are still upheld and legal in court.
Well, for a woman, it makes sense, but for a man, it makes absolutely no sense. A woman wants security and wants some kind of guarantee or some type of contract.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't.
Well,
for most women, yes, I agree. For most women,
well,
they
most
do look at that.
practical, pragmatic people don't talk about the spiritual union. They just talk about the financial security. But just imagine a guy going out with a girl for 90 days, meets her on Bumble. They go out for 90 days. They're madly in love. And they say to each other, let's get married. Let's start a family. So the guy and the girl, they get engaged, they get a ring. They go and they get the certificate. They get married. Everybody in their family is super happy. And remember, they only dated 90 days. So the guy, they're madly in love. But the thing is, 90 days is nothing compared to all the backstory that each person brings to that relationship, which has yet to reveal themselves. So it's pointless.
TV show, 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, I've never watched it before though. It sure is. Is it still? I don't know if it's still.
Yeah, it's still going. People talk about that show still because it really documents the human condition, where people want love, but they don't have the emotional intelligence to be in love because everybody's a child and they all act like children on that show. It's crazy.
You're right. You're 100% right with that shit.
Yep. I have to agree.
I mean, the show wouldn't be exciting if they didn't act like children. It would just be, people being normal, like, gotta go to work. Can you make me a cup of coffee? Okay, great. See you for dinner. Hey, hon, I'm back. Hey, what's going on? What'd you do all day? Oh, we worked all day long. It's like, no. It's like, it's a drama. But, what I'm saying is 90 Day Fiance is no different than people in the real world. Like, very high percentage. Most people are just... they're just waiting for something that will never come.
Yeah, my bad. I was saying text. I like even what you were saying about people saying they're ready for love, but not their emotional intelligence is not stable. It's not even at the where it needs to be to enter into a union. It's not. I was even talking to them the other day about. I had suggested there was a girl and she was talking about it's not about the money and because there was a guy saying he makes so much money and why should he have to once he's married have to split everything he's built and everything before he came into the marriage. She's like, when you come to a marriage, everything is I said, but this is why people get prenuptial agreements. I think people, I don't see why people look at that in a bad way. it's more to a prenuptial agreement than just money. I think that it makes the whole divorce smoother when it comes to kids, when it comes to child support, when it comes to how the kids are going to be handled, everything like that. Hey, I think more people should have prenups. I do. If you're going to enter in that type of union, with the whole legal aspect of it, because that is the only difference. It's about the finances. The only difference is the money. Everything else you can do. And if I have a business partner, he can be on my paperwork. She can be on my paperwork. She can handle things. I can have her as beneficiaries. I can have her on my life insurance and have her as a beneficiary. You know, all these things I can do, even still without having that paper.
Well, I think a lot of this comes out of medieval society from like the 1500s, because a lot of this had to do with like kings and queens and courtiers or concubines. So, you know, the king is going to have mistresses. The queen might have, male lovers, but the legal contract deals with the separation of assets, should the union dissolve or should somebody die. So I think a lot of this is like historical legacy, which is not up to date. I mean, what you want in a relationship is if you die, you want to be like, you want your partner to have everything because they're really like, that's your love, that's your partner, and everything is for that person and the children. But the problem with that is your psychology, the human psychology changes so quickly, in terms of like fight or flight, changing circumstances, even self-actualization and identity searching. Like most people do not have a firm identity. They're still searching for themselves. So to get married to somebody who's a passive aggressive and is quick to snap or quick to talk, those are the people you have to avoid. And you can detect them here on Clown House because they can't actually have a conversation. It's something in their psychology where not only can they not have a conversation here, they can't have a conversation in the real world with family and friends and in the work environment. So they're basically incompetent. And you can you can have passive aggressive conversations nonstop on this app with people that just want to get the dopamine feedback loop from talking out of control. Those are the definite type of people you need to avoid in relationships, and certainly in marriage.
I agree. Hey Taz. Ty, welcome to the stage.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
It's all good. How are you?
I'm alright. Just busy today.
Busy is good.
Yeah, this is labor. I guess you call it labor love, but I'm trying Sandra? Good a bathroom. Remodel.
You know you're supposed to be this morning.
What?
You know you're supposed to be this morning, woman.
Oh, this nigga.
You know you're supposed to be, woman. Alright?
Oh, I'm supposed to be.
Now don't make me have to come up in here and get you no more. Alright? Don't make me have to do that.
Shut your ass up.
Don't make me have to come up in here and get you no more. Alright? Now, this is the last time I say. And when I tell you to get somewhere, you be there, woman. Alright?
Let me tell you something. Look, I'm gonna approach this in the most respectful way. Number one, I think you be forgetting I'm on the West Coast. Okay.
I got the biggest crush on Sandra, y'all. Y'all just don't know. I'm just so she need to do like I say. That's what my crush is supposed to do. Okay. I'm from the old school where crushes did what we said do.
Alright, man. I didn't know that used to happen back then. I didn't know that.
Sandra, where you ain't listening to your man? What's going on there?
Rock back. Tell her again,
Stu. Adam may eat the cake, huh? Right.
I just hopped on here probably like what?
Okay. Well, where you supposed to come as soon as you hop on this app?
The post?
You're supposed to come see me and make sure I'm okay. Did you get you something to eat this morning? Did you get your eggs scrambled? You know, did you put a little cheese in your eggs?
I haven't even
That's what
eaten.
you're supposed to do. You know?
I haven't even
I like my bacon crispy. You're supposed to check on all of that.
eaten.
Then and only then can you go see what Stu talking about and all these other folks. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, add me back, everybody. Stu, Arataza. Arataza. All right.
Calling Taz.
I'll see y'all. I'll see
You
you.
add me back. You don't add nobody back. All right, PhD. Taz don't add back. I don't follow Taz hell that long ago. Let me see. Did he add me back yet? Hell to the no. Shit, that nigga follow PhD back. We funkin'. No, I don't want to funk with Taz. I'm just playing Taz. I swear, I'm just playing. Just talking shit. Fuck that. One babies for can't afford the milk. Yeah, so they're aborting them all.
And as they should.
Right, as they should.
I mean, no, like, to be honest, they should just be on birth control. I don't understand why Black women in particular are on birth control as much as other groups of people, because I feel like that could solve a lot of our problems, to be honest.
Now, what's interesting, does anybody in here watch 60 Minutes? Did y'all see last week? They had a whole ass story of the Catholic Church child trafficking since the 50s. They would kidnap Italian women, the Vatican and the Pope. They had a child out of wedlock, single parenting. They would kidnap those children, sell them to adoption over here in America's white family. And then decades later, the children who never knew their real mother, some of the mothers in their 90s, and they got reconnected. But it was a whole ass thing. So even with this bullshit statistics they talk about, it's not even accurate. Because white women that have a shit ton of kids without a wedlock, but because they the ones who create the goddamn narrative and stories, they create the statistics that make the story, the narrative sound a certain way.
White women are to blame?
No, I'm just saying that the narratives that we use to have these type of discussions aren't always true, or as extreme as they say it.
No, you're 100% right, because you can very easily Google the orphan trains in the late 18th century, and you'll know that this to be true. You'll see pictures of thousands of white children on trains. Like, where the fuck are these kids' parents at? Thousands, all kinds of pictures. There's hundreds of pictures on the internet. So what was going on there? The Vatican and European churches were selling European women and children to the Arabs. They've been doing it for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they infiltrated like the flower moon. They infiltrate these communities, whiten up their skin, and change their culture, right? So they do the same thing when it comes to this argument about abortion. They say, "Oh, black women." No, black women since enslavement been aborted because your child was $1. So in order to get back, you would kill the baby after being raped. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a new thing.
Shit, would you rather do baby? I ain't gonna lie, I'm not.
Listen, they was like, you're not forcing me to have a child and then sell it. Fuck that. I'm not gonna have it. You right? Like,
I'm not for abortion, but I would rather my child something than to be born into fucking slavery.
Right. Some of the parents even kill their own kids because they're like, what the fuck? Like, nah, your child was not your own. Your spouse wasn't your own.
Where do you think that, hey, I brought you in this motherfucker, I'll take you out came from?
I hate that song.
Yeah, I read anybody read the book Barracoon by Zora Neale Hurston? About what's my man Cthulhu Lewis? He was like
What's it about?
The last slave ship before the Civil War that was they illegally trafficked Africans to Birmingham, and so Cthulhu Lewis was the king's right hand man, and the Zulu tribe came and captured them. You know what I'm saying? They ended up enslavement, and he said before he was enslaved, he wasn't a Christian and he never was beat. And what do we do in America? We beat the fuck out of our kids and indoctrinate them into religion. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I was Christian now, but, you know, his origination of who he was, and he was 14 at the time. He's like, I wasn't getting whipped as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Or as a child. Until he was on that goddamn cotton field.
Why you say it like that, though?
No, that's a quote from the book. That's how he said it. He said, I want to go home, which means he want to go back to, what's the West Coast? Not Ghana. It was the other coast right there on the border. And then he said, he was a Muslim, I guess. They had it in Europe or whatever, but he was the organized was
Hey, Ty. Ty, may I say something to you?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ty, I'm going to try not to get emotional when I say this, but there's a sense of wisdom and decency about you. Now, your profile pic with the beard, the graying beard, indicates the wisdom of Solomon. I can't place my finger on it. There's a decency there that's hard to explain. There's a sense of wisdom. What do you think about that, Ty?
I appreciate that, but, you know, the Lord ain't through me yet. I got issues.
But the rule is, on Clubhouse, the rule is anybody with a graying beard is a sage. And there's a wisdom there that's hard to pin down. Continue, Ty. Thank you.
Well, that just comes from reading books, you know, but the Clubhouse niggas don't read, so there's that.
Now, wait a minute. Now, the only person that doesn't read is Boris. Now, the rest of everybody else reads. Uncle Ruckus reads. Boris, on the other hand, he burns books. If you ever run into somebody named Boris, especially on this room, run for your life.
Yeah, I wasn't speaking specifically to nobody in the room. I'm just saying Clubhouse.
I'm talking about Boris.
Ren, you be going hard on Boris, man. That shit is
Boris
crazy.
get on my nerves. He's like, I hate him like a sickness. You feel me? I'm glad he's not here. Other than that, he's a great guy. I'm just glad he's not here right now. If he was here, I'd be gone.
Other than that, he's a
Let me go
great
ping
guy.
Boris real quick.
You crazy as
Oh
fuck.
shit, Boris about to come through. I hate him like a sickness. Now, Ty, if I were to meet you in real life and I needed some help with something or advice, I would go straight to you.
Yeah, if I knew what to do, I'd help you out or show you.
I know you would.
But I live in the collective space. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, what does the can somebody reiterate the topic? You want the baby? Is that what it's saying? Want the baby but can't have the milk?
Can't afford the milk. Can't afford the milk.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember when the twins was little, and gas over here was $4, and a gallon of milk was $4. And the price of it, like that shit was killing, and I make way more than most people, and I'm like, yeah, no, there's a reason why I didn't have no kids before I got to be at least able to get dental care, because this shit is crazy.
I ain't gonna lie though, the grocery prices are pretty high, right? And inflation is off the chain, right?
That's now. You know, back then it wasn't as much, and it still was kicking ass. To me, anyway.
No, but now they do the shrinkflation stuff, so it's they give you way
Hey,
less
Ty, you said
product. But you don't hear me talking though. I was just.
No, let me just say
But
this.
no, I'm not gonna
Tyson-
stop
Tyson
talking
this
because I
phrase
was talking. So I said that shrinkflation right now.
One mic.
Yeah, well, I was talking first, and he's over talking me. Like,
Okay, well, let
All I
him
wanted to say
finish
was
up,
back
Ren.
then,
Let him
no,
finish up,
no,
Ren. Let him
no.
finish up, Ren. Let him finish up.
Yeah, so like I was just saying, right, there's shrinkflation now, and they're giving you like less products. And then also there's like, you know, they're using lesser quality ingredients in food and stuff. So they're getting around like under like our like nose.
all I wanted to say, Ty, is you used the phrase back then, and it just reminded me of a song that went, back then they didn't want me, now I'm out there all on me.
And when I say back then, I'm talking the black man is still president.
Yeah, but you know that song?
Yeah, but yeah. So
Back
when
then,
I say
they
back
didn't want me,
then,
now
I'm
I'm
not
out
even
there
talking
all
about
on me.
that mother though. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Just 15 minutes.
All right, everybody, I'll be here later if Boris ain't here. Peace out, everybody.
Mike Jones came up so hard and then fell so hard too.
He owns a construction company. Like, he got money. Like, are you kidding? He's just not making music.
Yeah, as far as music, no, he did well with his money. Now that I didn't say nothing about that, but just as far as the one-hit wonder of Mike Jones, because everybody was saying that nigga name so much for a minute, and then he just fell the hell off, man. You didn't hear nothing else about this guy, man.
Hey, I still be playing that.
Well, I think he has a verse on
I
before
wouldn't say he was
one
a
of before the song, so he's around, but yeah, no, he's around.
No,
I mean, I was wondering, oh dang, she left because she had said something about abortion that, you know, I don't think, or about birth control. And it's the thing when it comes to birth control, do we not? Well, dang.
You're fine. I would use the word birth control.
You did that on purpose.
Birth control.
What I do, I'll say
The thing with
Planned
birth
Parenthood.
control, it's a thing. I think it's just it's another a part of the plan to depopulize and to keep to depopulize us.
I don't think so.
I've read about it.
It's called Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think you can plan to be a parent if you're on birth control.
No, it's planned not to be a parent.
My thing is they have other ways. Listen, if y'all want to be raw dogging and y'all don't have no control over that, and you know you don't want no kids, stop doing that and what it takes and the way it takes to have children. Like, but birth control is a way, and I was actually reading this, and then I'll read it to you when I find exactly what chapter I remember it saying, where about how the government will literally put these in place as a part of the agenda to depopulize. And this is what we're seeing happen. Look at these rallies where they have these. I'm almost done.
Everybody can't go.
Look at these rallies where they have these abortion rallies and not abortion rallies. These abortion-free little huts and the whole birth control. If you put women on birth control like this, let me tell you something. I was on birth control young and young.
Right?
Even when you get off of birth control, you know how long it takes to get pregnant on certain forms of birth control.
You do what you gotta
It
do.
fucks with a woman's.
And isn't that a wonderful?
I'm against it. I think that if you don't want kids, stop raw dogging, stop juicing.
Yeah, I'll
Stop
agree with
juicing
that.
raw.
But I'll say the agenda, because we're in such a capitalistic society, it takes people to make the money. Like, the idea, the economy would crumble when the birth rate is down. That's why they got, quote unquote, getting rid of abortion. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money goes down when you don't have
Wait,
kids.
so you don't think that they're trying to have
No, they
a
need
population?
They need people to make the money. Like, money just don't come from nowhere. It comes from people on the bottom working and enslaving.
So if you don't think that they're trying to depopulize, if you think they're trying to keep, if you don't think that, why do they push abortion so hard the way that they do?
They don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. If anything,
Nike.
they're trying to they want more children. Because we also have not just the money, we have racial caste systems too. And you have white women who have kids way less than black. And so they're oh shit.
You're a Democrat, huh?
No. I'm actually a registered Republican, but I'm just telling you because I actually in the political sphere. Like, I know what's going on. Like, no, they won. They like, oh shit. I forgot the average age of white people It's like over
If you don't
50.
think they're trying to depopularize certain groups of people, then I'm surprised you're in the government the way you say that you are, because that's a fact.
I talked to this guy before. He's definitely a Democrat. Man. There's a lot of these so-called Republicans or registered Republicans, but they're Democrats, man. I've talked to this guy before. He's like Kamala Harris from all the time.
They don't want white.
Can I get something real quick?
We want you to abort your babies, but we want you to have babies. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, can I say something real quick? Sandra, you're right. Okay? The stats are there. Black women are having more abortions than white women. Okay? White
birth rates are higher than
bruh. That's not like. Hey. Relax yourself, bruh. Relax yourself. Okay? White women are not having children. They're not aborting them. They're just not having them because they're doing the whole education and career. And so they're waiting until they're like 30, 35, and then they want to have children and settle down, and then they end up having maybe one, maybe two children. That's below replacement level for the white population. Black women, on the other hand, they just aborting the living their lives out of their kids.
But their rates are still higher. Birth rates are still higher for black people.
I think you just agreed with me. I didn't say black. I didn't say. Hold on, bruh. If you notice when you was talking, I didn't say nothing. Like, why do you wait until somebody talking and you just want to talk over them? I didn't say that black birth rates were down. I say white birth rates were down, but black women are higher in percentage of abortions. So they're having more kids and they're aborting more kids. White women are having less kids and aborting less kids. Two things could be right.
I know the Hispanic population is fucking like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't think they even believe in condoms or birth control. Them niggas popping out babies left and right.
I saw this Hispanic lady at the little Mexican market the other day. She walked in the store with 4 kids. She left out with like 8.
Damn.
The 4 older ones ran in the head.
Yeah, I'm a white guy, man. There's no reason why I haven't had any kids, dude. I just can't afford it. Like, I truly cannot afford having any kids, man. You know, I've had an opportunity, you know. I've had
You can afford it. You just don't want to sacrifice your lifestyle.
It's not true, scrub.
That has a lot to do with it, too. Honestly, you're right, Uncle. Okay, straight up. Like,
You gotta realize, too, man, I thought I couldn't afford kids, too, when I realized when I had my first kid on the way, right? I had just sold I had a 4-bedroom condo when I was 19. I ended up selling that motherfucker, right? Because I couldn't afford to keep up the mortgage on it anymore, right? Because all my roommates had moved out. So anyways, right, so I moved into a studio apartment in East LA. Me and my wife, whatever else, right? Moved in there together. It was kind of like $800 a month and that, right? Everything was all bad, like no bullshit. I was making decent money, but I wasn't making enough to even really consider it anything, right? Not in LA. Right? I got her pregnant. I'm sitting there thinking in my head, like, damn, how the fuck we gonna afford this? Like, how am I gonna afford a baby? Right? I'm stressed out and stuff. The baby came, and the baby just kind of became an extra part of your lifestyle. It was kind of added in there. Like, we had a studio apartment, kind of just put him on the bed in the studio apartment, and then as we went, we just bought him stuff that he needed. And it didn't really seem like we were spending extra money. It didn't really seem like it costed extra. It's kind of like you adjust to it. You feel me? Then eventually we moved out, got a bigger place, had another baby. Then again, we adjusted the cost into our living. I don't feel like I'm paying extra money for kids. I really don't. But I mean, I know I am, but it doesn't feel like it, you know? So you can afford it. There's no stress here, bro. Just have the kids.
No, that's true. Like, honestly, I would honestly want to. So my last girlfriend, I'm glad I didn't have to get through. We had, she had to take a pregnancy test twice, but, and like, I was fully prepared. Like, I don't do abortion. I'm not into that shit, you know. I'm pro-life, so, you know, I was going to have it no matter what. I just wasn't really excited about the girl, because I'm 34. I was 33 when I was dating her, and she was 21. She was too young. You know what I mean? And just completely different, you know, completely different for me. Her values were different, down to everything. I'm a Montana guy who kind of likes smaller areas, and she wanted to go back to North Carolina and the big city, and there was just a bunch of stuff that, and our values were just different, yeah. So I'm glad I didn't have a kid with her. But if she would have been pregnant, then I would have, I would have had the baby, of course, because I don't believe in that shit. Just abort them. But yeah, I've definitely been careful though. I've tried to not get anyone pregnant over the years, definitely, because I feel like, yeah, it is financial, but you're right. A lot of it is my lifestyle. I just kind of like to do my thing, but I do want to have a kid with the right woman. I really do. I mean, that'd be awesome. I really do. I'm kind of envious of, not in a bad way, but what do you call it? I'd like to have my own kid, someday. My own kids with a good woman. So I just got to make sure and find the right woman.
I can't stand when people say my attorney, my kid, my job. I mean, none of this is my stuff, meaning that like a kid isn't even yours.
Who is this guy?
Who the hell is this guy?
Hey, love, Art, do you have any kids?
My kids are dangling between my legs for future potential kids.
Yeah. No, listen. Love is. I don't actually know his real name. I thought his name was Adrian, but it turned out that was Elon Musk.
No, I don't know his name either. He's had some issues like no.
John.
Not even John.
Yeah, this dude.
He had a name before that one.
Fuck, man. He's funnier than fuck. He really is, though.
Hey, what is your real name, love? Someone told me at one time, I believe.
John. John's my first name.
So John Kidover is your real name.
Guarantee you it's not John.
That's my government. That is my government name. I got it tattooed on my left arm. I got my social security tattooed on my arm, so I don't forget who I am. My identity. My government identity.
Why you have so many other goddamn names on the internet?
Because I have.
Find another one of those accounts. It's called OnlyFans.
Including he even troll with his real name. Then apparently
he's slowly starting to morph. Well, you hear his voice changing. Pretty soon he's gonna turn into this, 17th century British aristocrat with it, knowing that.
I can't stand that. Once he does that voice, I disengage.
All morning, I have so appreciated it. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I would disengage.
Again, my voice, my Jesus, my church, my government.
The moment you do that stupid voice, blood, then you got a deal already. You get removed immediately when you do that dumb
What are you going out there for? Ain't no soul.
We love having you here, though.
Well, it's my choice. It's my body. It's my choice.
Oh, that's true.
It's your choice. My choice to do what I gotta do.
No, listen. Listen, though. I see what he's saying, though. But me saying my R. Okay, fine, ours. Ours and the woman, or ours. Right?
My N-word.
I got a question. What, have you ever take the time to really think of what does it take to survive day to day, as far as, let's say it's just you, your woman, and a child. What would it really take to wake up in the morning time? Okay, you need toothbrushes. How much does toothbrushes cost? You need toothpaste. Okay, you need breakfast. How much is that going to cost? How extravagant is a breakfast? What do you really, really need? 2 eggs and a piece of sausage, some bread. Okay, what do you really need for shelter? And then think about, is it really unaffordable to have a child, or like Sandra and Uncle said, that you just want to have a luxurious life and you don't want to give up your lifestyle, and that's it.
I think that's what it is, and not to sound any type of way, but to have babies, people say, "Oh, it's so expensive." Okay, if you want to talk about things, you choose to put your kids in daycare, or certain things like that. Maybe can be a little expensive, but as far as the everyday necessities for a child, it's I think it's
no. What if I want to bring? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt you, Sandra, but this is kind of what I. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I think people that they kind of dramatize, and it makes people that don't have children kind of make them feel like they shouldn't. But I tell you, it really doesn't. It's not like that for everybody that seeks for a child. It's not that much.
Well, but this is the thing: is I want more. I had a decent life, but I want more for my kid. Like I moved to a city in Montana, and it's the most expensive city besides Bozeman. So it's Missoula. It's really fucking expensive here. I want opportunities for my kids. And I don't want to. Rent is super expensive here. I don't want my kid living in some shitty apartment or worse. Living in a fifth wheel or something like that. Like it's not easy around here. You understand? I want my kid enrolled in stuff, sports. I want the whole thing. I want him to have real opportunities. And right now,
that's when it starts getting more expensive. But the cool thing is, you got about 6-7 years to 10 years before you start having to put a lot of money into that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think people understand the drive that children give you. Like, when you have a child, it really, not that you don't have drive already, but when you have a child, it makes this drive, this I don't know, it makes you want to go harder. You know what I mean?
And then you gotta recognize that maybe your kids might not even be good at sports, right? Like, I don't know if you play sports your life, I feel like a lot of parents force their kids in sports as opposed to playing to their kids' strengths. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm looking for. I want my kid to have opportunities where maybe he is into sports, maybe she, whatever. But in Missoula, so I was in small towns where we literally didn't have fucking shit, bro. We didn't even have soccer teams, hockey.
You turned out
golf,
fine, right?
None of that shit, bro. What?
And you turned out fine.
I came out fine, man.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you how sports. There's the other side to sports, bro. That they don't tell people about, right? I'm gonna tell you the other side to sports, right? I spent my whole high school, quote unquote, career, right? Football, right? Football. Went to college, right? At the college level, you feel me? Football. Well, my whole goal was get to the league. I mean, I was talking about I'm doing the combines. I'm in the gym. I'm over here dieting and exercising when I'm supposed to. I'm watching film. My whole life was football, right? As soon as I got injured, you feel me? And I realized that the football dreams is gone, bro. Like depression set in, dog. You start realizing like you didn't really plan for a plan B. You didn't really plan for much more past that. You feel me? It really fucks you up because now you live in the rest of your life, seeing your homeboys in the league, seeing your homeboys get Super Bowl championships and shit, and you're looking like, God damn it, like that could have been me. You feel me? Like I could have been there with them. Like you get real depressed when you don't make it, and most of us don't make it, dog. That's the cool part about it. So I mean, not being able to afford that, you might be doing a favor for your kid, man, as to doing them a disservice. And the first favor that you could do for your kid is give them life. Nothing that you're talking about as far as like how you're gonna do this and how you're gonna do that is gonna happen unless you actually have the children.
Well, what about this though too, man? Like I'm religious. I've talked to a few girls that I really like, but they're like, they tell me straight up like, I want a traditional marriage, which means like I stay home, take care of the kids, actually raise the family because they came from traditional marriages, and they're like
these bitches is 2024. You feel me?
Yeah.
Ain't none of that.
I know.
I'm from the upper middle class suburbs. Them folks lying talking about. That's a lie. Most of the women in the upper middle class suburbs had careers, bro. It wasn't too many stay-at-home wives in them neighborhoods.
I'm telling you, I worked for her dad, dude, and her dad is like same thing. Like her mom, was a stay-at-home wife. At least she was until recently. She started teaching for some reason on the side just because she enjoys it. But all through there, like,
so
childhood, she was staying home
the whole time. That's what I'm saying. See, she chose, man.
So like, I don't know, like this girl, yeah. So like, I would like to raise a woman like that, where if she wants to stay, if she wants to, If she wants to work, that's up to her. If she, because I want her to do what she wants. Like, if she's got like a dream and I want to lift up my partner. You know what I mean? Like whatever she wants.
Let me ask you a
but it
question.
also will benefit the household. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You said you worked for her father?
I did. I was in Eastern Montana. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me. Okay, yeah. You worked for her father. Did her father treat you well?
Really well, yeah.
You should have married the chick, bro.
Well, here's the thing: she was going to college, you know, so she went off to Wisconsin to college.
I see what you're getting at right now, because her daddy wouldn't have let him fail.
Well, I don't know. I think that you know.
No, he wouldn't have let you fail. He wouldn't have let you fail because you're taking care of his daughter.
Well, I would have been stuck over there in Eastern Montana, a small town, or
yeah, no wonder why the mama didn't have to work. See, I guess it's different when you live in rural life like that. Yeah, sure. If I move my wife to the middle of bumfuck Texas somewhere, yeah, sure, I could probably pay all the bills and stuff. The house is gonna cost like $90,000. I could pay the mortgage of $600 a month. You feel me? And buy all the groceries and I'm sure I could do some shit like that. No issue, right? But living in the cities, and living in, like, I'm from LA, I'm from Southern California, that whole stay-at-home white bullshit, unless I'm a multi-millionaire, bitch, you better take your ass to work.
Well, that's the thing. I think it all depends on what you do for a living. I know there's a lady I follow on Instagram. She lives in, where is it? I forgot where they live, but they have 9 children. She's a stay-at-home mom. Her husband takes care of everything, even her, you know, little necessities. She has, when she goes to get her nails, she has her day where she goes to get pampered. I think it all depends on the amount of money that the man is bringing to the house. You have some men that are able to hold that down comfortably. You have some men that aren't. So I think it just all depends on.
The homeless people is based on calories.
Hold on, David. Hold on. Let him rant.
Why do you insist on ignoring these statements and facts?
No, you made a statement about calories.
No, you can pray to get away. It's not going to happen.
I'm telling you,
you're
the city of New York, the way they measure how they feed homeless people is based on calories. Does that mean New York City is an open-air prison?
I'm going to repeat it again for the thick-headed. They count the calories needed for survival, and those are the calories that are allowed.
Okay, they do the same thing with the homeless people in New York.
Okay.
But what is a calorie? What is a calorie? Good calorie? Bad calorie?
The homeless people in New York can buy things if they have the money. The people of Gaza can't buy things even if they have the money, because these things don't exist, because we all know that they have money for the survival.
They're all $5.
Okay, I posted Gabriel's link at the top, by the way. Okay, Randy, there's your stats.
That's not what he claimed. He said 25% of our population went to Israel.
Okay.
Okay, let me read you guys the quotes. I gave you guys 2
No,
cents.
let us read it.
No, hold on. Shut the fuck up. My quote is
I'm not gonna shut the fuck
what
up.
I said was via so the first step, I'm validating the first step. I gave you the first step. The first step was
the first step. Sees the crossing on 7th of May.
Hey,
a closure which has left thousands of
Randy, just
Diego, just move him off for a second.
Can we just play cat and mouse here, please?
Diego, just move him off for a second.
They're not your fault. They are, if they are at all.
Diego, would you like to actually have an adult conversation about this, or would you like this guy to just babble like a crazy little Tourette's monkey?
Put your kosher lips off my ass.
Can you move him off for a second?
He is a Tourette's monkey, you gotta admit, Diego. He's a fucking Tourette monkey. Tourette's. You got Tourette's, Randy?
So here's a quote. Here's a quote from Middle East Eye, which is an anti-Zionist publication. Thousands of Palestinians are
crossing between Egypt and Gaza has been closed indefinitely since the Israeli military seized the crossing on 7 May. A closure which has left thousands of Palestinians in limbo. Since the beginning of Israel's war on Gaza in October and the subsequent closure of all other crossings, the Rafah crossing with Egypt has been the only passageway for civilians fleeing the conflict. An Egyptian company with exclusive control, and exclusive control on exits and transfers via the terminal has been charging prostitutes at least $5,000 per adult and $2,500 per child.
146,000 leaving the
I think what he's trying to express to you, Gabriel, is that he can play the Jew trick now. That's his whole shtick.
That's right. So go cry to George Soros, guy. Now, if you put something
The Jew trick? You mean being a rambling idiot?
Of giving evidence, you asked me for evidence. I provided you with evidence for my first stat. Would you like me to give you my second stat's evidence?
I can just speak over all of you too. Let's just do it. Let's all just talk. Come on, everybody. What's the point of this anyways? Let's be honest. Diego's a Jew-hating Nazi.
I can take myself and every Jew and Zionist out of this.
Right,
space
we
and
asked you
just
for
have an
stats
echo
of the
chamber.
article.
But
Are
you
you gonna give
actually
us the
asked me
stats?
for evidence. Would you like to hear
So are
it?
you gonna give us the
Yes,
stats while we're waiting
Randy, just don't. I know that your Middle Eastern nature consumed you, but just try to pull it back. Try to imagine yourself as an educated German living in Austria, maybe Vienna, at the turn of the 19th.
Okay, Habib, this is not the Holocaust. You're not going to give us numbers without evidence. Can you give us the stats? Don't just say
provided
things.
150,000. There's a stat.
Where's the stats?
150,000 people per year leaving via the Rafah crossing to go on vacation. Now I'm going to provide you with the 20,000 people per
This
day.
is so stupid.
who
What you're
were
saying is so
going into
stupid.
Israel for
Randy,
work.
but why is it so stupid?
Because some people are outside of Gaza. They go to Gaza to see their family and they leave Gaza. So people leaving Gaza
Okay,
doesn't mean it's
People were leaving Gaza. Right, so people were leaving Gaza. I guess it's not
But
an
the
open
people
air
leaving
prison.
Gaza aren't
I guess
residing
it's
in
not a
Gaza. Let's say I'm in
concentration
the US, I'm from Gaza, I want to go see my family and come back. So people leaving Gaza doesn't mean Gaza
Okay,
is
wait, hold on.
Gaza.
Why is he
Don't play
talking?
these
I'm
Jewish
just gonna
games,
talk
dude.
in
You're
your
so
stats.
dumb.
Give us the stats. Hey, give us the
You see what he's saying, Gabriel? You see what he's? You see how he's attacking
He didn't let
the
me
claim?
speak, and now I'm not going to let him speak. Give us the
Doesn't
stats.
matter what
I don't
you
think
I can speak over you, Kike. I don't need your
Wow.
permission to speak. I'm louder than you'll ever be, motherfucker. Is there nothing you can do? All you can do is cry about the Holocaust. That's all it is. That's all you can do.
Give us the
Okay? How about you sit
Enjoy
down and
your-
let me
enjoy your
speak?
Saturday.
Otherwise, you can suck my kosher dick. How about that?
and then
Fucking faggot.
he can speak.
Well, I like an adult, exactly. So there's adult play going on.
Randy, relax.
For a second.
Ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody care about this faggot.
Just move him off stage.
I can't. He's too knowledgeable about the area. He is Palestinian, Gabriel.
Off stage for a second, and
So if you're gonna lie, I'm gonna put you in your place like I put your mama. Now the truth of the matter
I'm
is,
not your little dude.
non-Gazans,
Continue to
Gazans who are outside of Gaza, they can come and see their family and leave. Now when you're claiming that this means that Gazans themselves can leave, I wonder why they all remain now, right? Why are they all
Gabriel,
there?
go back to the shop. Just ignore this rat.
You can answer these basic questions.
Gentlemen, let me have the mod kick in here for a second. So the point here is
Kick him off for a second.
Randy.
Can you imagine telling Diego what to do in an anti-Jew room as if he's gonna like obey you and listen to you? It's so stupid. Back to the talking apes.
What, $70,000?
No, barely $10,000.
I thought you said for the year. I thought you said they're each putting in $3,000 a month into the account. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying.
No. You're right. Their way, where they both put $3,000 to a joint account and they pay their bills, right? They're only saving $10,000 a year, and they're struggling to do that. It's the same pot of money. My way that I showed them is they get $84,000. And guess who said no?
Don't you think? I'm pretty sure I know who said no, but
Who?
I think the problem is that the way it's supposed to work is there's supposed to be like one accountant.
The pharaohs and stuff like that, he considered himself as the Messiah of Christianity. That's what he was. I knew I was too tired to go get my book, but also it talks about planking, and it what else? What else? It was Ptolemy's the third.
Okay, this is the Shabbos Goy detection and alert system. This is love.
But not all 100,000. These are actual Gazans who leave.
Okay, so they don't stop being Gaza if they actually live abroad.
And then
Okay, there's no
Qatar,
Anyways,
and then
some people were to leave stuff
videotape
also.
themselves on Instagram and YouTube in Arabic, talking
Okay,
about
can you show us that? Can you show us that? Let's talk in more
being in France.
Let's talk in more doing boy. This ain't no Holocaust.
There were also luxury
Okay,
villas
actually,
all over the
substantially
place,
Islam,
3-star, 4-star hotels. There
Okay,
were
he keeps
pizza
speaking, so I'm just gonna keep
restaurants,
speaking
there
over
were,
him. But I'm just gonna tell him, hey, ain't nobody can hear what you say. Waste your damn time. Look, I'm waiting. I can wait totally 1 hour and a half. I can afford wasting an hour and a half.
But it's a waste of time, Randy.
Yeah, but I don't care. I can afford it. I'm waiting to see someone, dude. So I can literally sit here for an hour and a half and not let me say a single sentence for the next hour and a half, dude. I don't mind. This is exactly how it's gonna go. Now you can take it or you can leave it.
The son of Yafin.
So you're not the master of the farm, son. You're just the guy. So sit down, accept the deal, or reject it. Up to you, dude. I'm okay.
Israel, who were going.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it's gonna be. So you can either take it, you can leave it. We can all sit here for the next 6 hours, like listening to me saying nonsense over you. It's just you can do that.
At this point, I want to see who wins this battle of the fucking will. Okay, so
exactly how it's gonna happen. I promise you, dude. Exactly how it's gonna happen.
I'll work on.
Okay, I can just keep on going. I can even start singing songs for you, man. I can call the names. I can jump. I can sit. I can do my push-ups as I talk to you, dude. There's no problem.
whoever wins this is gonna be indicative of the people that are gonna win the ultimate war.
Nothing. Maybe he needs to go to the Make Awareness Great again, dude. I think he's confused a little bit here.
That is when he frees Palestine.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna keep on going, and I can. You know what?
He creates the right.
Maybe I'm gonna give you stats for the Holocaust.
I think they get died. What legacy did he leave for you, George?
Did you see how you shot the two up? You just found them on the That's how young were.
His name is IRGC guys.
What other, inheritance did you get from him, apart from the fact that you got a pathetic pathological
exactly.
What else do you inherit from your feet?
Alright, speak louder, dude, because if we can hear him more than you, then I'll speak over him.
Hold on a second. PTR. Check out my PTR. Let's see how long it takes.
Gabriel asked me a question. We're changing to subject. Survive. I think he's gonna survive for a long time because Israel refuses to do a counterstrike.
I don't think it's in their best interest.
Counter-Strike. They just tried to blow up Benjamin Netanyahu's house. They're preparing the launches now. They're preparing for war now.
Okay, here's the point. That the longer that Israel waits to do a counterstrike against Iran, the the weaker they are perceived by the entire world community. I mean, if Russia attacked the United States would instantly retaliate.
That's
there would be
not
no.
true, actually. Most governments retaliate when they are ready at a time and place of their choosing. That's the actual wording.
Okay, you weak ass bitch. That's right. That's right.
The whole world is actually celebrating Netanyahu's strength.
And their lies.
They have, in the last 2.5 weeks, taken out 3,400
and their lies.
The head of Hezbollah, the second head of Hezbollah, the third head of Hezbollah,
and their lies.
The remaining head of Hamas, the prior head of Hamas.
Gabriel is right. And their lies.
You're acting like a Middle Easterner now.
And their lies.
Please.
And their lies. That's right. He went on mute. That's right.
You guys.
Moscow blew up one of our battles.
It doesn't matter. Right away. Okay, are you aware of the fact that the U.S. had a tactical victory in Vietnam? But
So, Diego, to answer your question,
Okay, are you aware of that
it's
fact?
going to be
Are you aware
perceived.
that
Oh, is he lying again?
That's what?
He was lying. Because the U.S. won at a tactical level in Vietnam, but the war was lost. Okay, tactical victory doesn't mean it's victory, dude. Like, that's the thing.
I think when you decapitate
So if you say, okay, we
the
killed this
leaders
guy,
of
that
your
doesn't mean it's a
enemy,
victory, dude. That's not how it works.
decimated their army.
Look, you can
and
claim
don't
these
have
things,
control
that doesn't
over
add
their
anything to
territory.
anything.
That is
I mean,
They don't
let's
even
talk
have
about
an
that.
army. And if they did, you guys would still kill them.
They had a 40,000
shit.
person army.
I thought you
They're
were
now
down.
down
Actually,
to
you know what?
less than
Yassine
8,000.
sounds.
Well, how many hostages did you kill in the midst of that as well? I mean, you guys just don't give a fuck who dies for
You
land.
tell them.
That's
They
actually
will kill you.
Atreides, son of Leto Atreides.
God, they decide that you're not worthy.
That's not true, Piggy. To answer your question, like,
He's a Khazar, man.
That is 100% true. What are you talking
Not
about?
even a
Send a
Jew.
warning.
That is 100% true. What he said is 100% true, dude.
I mean, right,
From what I've seen, though, I've seen them kill Israeli people. I'm watching them kill Muslims, Christians. They don't give a fuck. They want to
you're being selective in the news that you're reading.
But have you heard about the Hannibal directive, Piggy?
And they have to stop
Exactly.
like this is not because of October 7th. This is because of the initial Balfour declarations and everything else. This took place.
Defending itself.
Hold on, though.
Poor victims.
So may I ask a question, Diego? May I ask why before October 7th there is an article about how they were bombing Gaza Strip in, I want to say September.
22nd of September in Le Monde, actually. I can put the link in the
Thank you.
Don't say that.
Okay, I was very surprised to see that before. Hold on one second.
He's
But Gabriel, please don't. Gabriel, don't make me go. Please, I don't want to be a loud black woman. Hold on. I just want to say. Oh yes, I do. On September 22nd, they bombed some Palestinians. Right. So how is this about October 7th again?
So,
This is how we put
Hold on, guys. Let him answer.
every time Israel has had a
Writing the tracks
Gaza
back.
in response to rockets
Each one is
being
about-
fired.
We didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing.
Let us land. Here's the Jew line.
Guys, please.
Well, I think there's two people on stage who want to hear my answer, you and Diego. But I guess these guys are just not civilized. They're barbaric. They're not able to listen to people converse. Wow.
No, we're human animals.
Everyone that
Well, there you
doesn't
go.
let me
Well, I
lie.
mean, you behave like animals on stage. I don't know. I'm sure you are
Everyone that
human.
doesn't let me
but
lie.
You
is
behave like
civilized.
animals in the real world, dude.
Everyone that doesn't let me
answer-
lie is uncivilized.
So the answer.
Everyone that doesn't let me lie is
Well, see, have you noticed
uncivilized.
that
George Cameron
scared of
focus
answering
on the
people
African.
can't interact?
Everyone that doesn't let me lie is uncivilized.
Mister, can we hear Gabriel's answer, please?
Shut the fuck up, faggot.
Piggy and Diego, have you noticed that like literally not I'm not allowed to answer?
Yeah, you're not allowed.
I do, and that's why I said I honestly hate the fact that I'm black and not like another race, because I want to have these conversations, but every room I go in, black people don't want to have it. I just wish someone wants to have the combo, because we need to hear from both sides. We need to hear from both sides.
Yeah, but I don't know if you noticed, when you ask him a question, the real question is he going to answer? This is George Rabutsky. I don't know if you know him or not, but this guy is like the biggest propagandist anyway.
Don't take George seriously.
And this guy was doxing me, still doxing
His
me.
name is Gabriel.
What, by saying that you're George Rabutsky? Everyone knows who you are.
I mean,
Everyone knows
probably
is letting you.
Hi everyone, this is Love. I'd like to lead everybody in a breathing exercise meditation real quick. Take the deepest breath of the day through your nose. Hold it for 10 seconds. That's right, 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Here we go. Let it go. Now we're going to take the second deepest breath of the day through our nose. This is a breathing meditation exercise, everyone. Don't worry, World War III isn't here yet. None of you are in direct armed conflict. You're in a safe space. Let's take the second deepest breath of the day through our nose. Hold it for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Here we go now.
We're going for an hour and a half, dude. Also, I can interrupt you for the next hour and a half.
Ethnic slurs and calling me a kike.
But you are behaving
Diego,
like one.
I love the room.
But we're behaving like human animals. You're behaving like a kike. Okay, now that we can move forward. You're just not being shocked. Everyone knows who he is.
My name on this app is
Stop playing this
Gabriel,
game.
but for
Stop
some
playing
reason
victim,
this guy
dude.
keeps
Stop playing
mentioning
victim.
Not just my name, but my father's name.
Stop playing victim. We don't care about either you or Satan is your daddy.
No, my father's name
Satan is your daddy, so it doesn't matter.
mentioned and doxed in this room.
Satan is your. I don't care about your daddy, dude. I don't care.
George,
You can take your daddy issues elsewhere.
It's public for access.
Guys, can we get his answer about
Diego,
the?
so you support doxing.
No, he doesn't. No. Well, Diego, the new rules of Clubhouse are that the moderator is responsible for the behavior of the people in the room. Unfortunately.
Are you serious?
I swear I read it in the terms and conditions.
Yeah, okay, I just
Diego's shocked
no
and
more.
scared now.
Sorry.
He says stop.
He's like, oh guys, stop.
No, don't listen to me. How about you read a book? Read the terms and conditions.
I like Biggie.
10 books. The Bible. The Bible. The Torah. The Talmud. The Quran.
Damn.
The Hadith.
4 books.
Wait, you'll have to forgive Gabriel. You'll have to forgive my friend from the British Isles. He's a Saxon and he's begun to hate.
That's right.
He can't help himself either.
He's not a Saxon.
Because I've discovered the Jews.
None of the
Saxons
can help themselves.
Saxon?
He's not a fucking Saxon. You're making him royalty. Like, please.
Fucking plantation.
Biggie, to answer your question,
I was never there.
Israel has attacked us because there were thousands of rockets raining down on it.
Bullshit.
So
There was
were
just a
50
great
to
There was
70,000
children,
civilians
George.
who were
There was no
fleeing
rocket
their
on the
homes.
22nd of
And
September
a number of
2020.
Israeli
Stop lying.
civilians were injured.
There were
Some
just
were killed
children
with these
walking
rocket
next to the
attacks.
border.
Some
Killed
of the
children.
days you mentioned.
I posted the ad on Le Monde. There was no rocket.
That was
There
the
was just
answer,
only children. Stop lying.
Okay, that's it. That's lacking answers. You see why we don't let you answer? Because you deflect that. When we ask you a question, George Rabutsky, the real question is, are you gonna answer it? That's what's happening.
Diego, there you go. There's another one. Diego, I don't want to be reporting your space because I'm not like freaky like that. But I'm just telling you, like,
Why do you guys have
this
to
is
be
what
like
these guys keep doing, right?
Yeah, this is what we keep doing, and that's
Well,
what
you
keep
could
doing.
you could move them down when they start doxing people,
So
right?
you can keep saying
He's your main adversary in this
Everyone knows who you are.
It's not. I don't have an adversary.
Why are you afraid of your position? Because you know you're a liar.
Aren't you the eat my cookie?
Y'all won't even let him talk, though.
He proud Zionist.
He was saying, hold on. So Mr. Gabriel, let's go back a little bit, because from what I have read, Mr. Gabriel, is that ever since the state of Israel was created, they have been kind of exiling the natives, or I won't even say natives. I'll say the people that were living there originally, which scares me because I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want people to come to America and say, you know what, bitch, we're taking that, we're taking that, we're taking that. Get the fuck out. Hold on. Yeah, I know, but hold on. So can you answer that for me, Mr. Gabriel? Is that true?
I can. So, since the followers of the Prophet Muhammad took over the land and kicked out the indigenous people who were Jews and Christians, right?
They didn't kick you out.
They did. They did.
They
conquered the area and they forced converted a lot of
They forced converted people a long time ago.
Samaritans are a Jewish tribe.
In fact, prior to Israel existing, there were Jews in the land of Palestine. Stop lying.
They can't hear a perspective.
Okay, stop lying.
They don't let anybody speak. If it's not
stop lying.
Mr. Gabriel, I will ask you this though, because from what I know as well,
I wasn't able to actually get to
but stop lying.
True. The most recent exile was from the Romans though.
Well, hold on. So actually, there were multiple exiles.
Right, but I said the most recent one was the Romans.
There were 5 massacres of Jews by their Arab Muslim neighbors in the 1800s.
Cry more. The Jews actually
in
helped
1834, there was a months-long massacre of Jews in Safed.
Stop lying.
You can look this up.
Check the 1920s.
Guys, please, could y'all relax? I got this. I'm talking to Mr. Gabriel. Relax.
Speaking with Mr.
Damn.
Biggie has the conch. Biggie has the conch.
Right, so can you guys go look at
I love conch too. You know, I'm from Florida.
Actually existed and they actually revolted against the English. Can you guys check that?
Yeah, I know.
Did you read Lord of the Flies, Biggie?
Yeah, did you?
I did not.
You gotta read it. There's a chapter called Biggie. Teenagers are on an island.
I did read Animal Farm.
Guys, I like Biggie. I'm just saying this out loud.
I like you too. I don't know why, but I do. Happy Shabbat, by the way. Also, Shabbat Shalom.
Why did you keep Shabbat?
I'm not a Jew, guys. Come on, chill.
Why did you keep
George, can you go ahead and tell us how the Jews didn't exist although they revolted right before this?
No, George, let's talk about the exile. The most recent one was 70 by the Romans, right?
The Romans conquered the area. The Jews in Judea revolted. This was
what about
Jesus' death, right?
What about
and when the Jews were crushed, the Romans renamed the area Syria Palestine.
You sound like you have a so Palestinians are colonized.
Palestine as an ethnic entity did not exist back then.
It said that you all returned from exile under the Persian Empire and regained control over the land with the Hasmonean dynasty in the 2nd century BCE. Judea, as it was called then, became a client state of Rome in 63 BCE, and the Herodian dynasty, a Jewish dynasty, under the control of Rome, took over in 70 CE. The Romans destroyed Jerusalem and exiled many of the Jewish inhabitants. Right, that was. It says that was the last exile.
So why did you talk
quite a few Jews remained living in Safed, Hebron, and Jerusalem. They never left for 2,000 years.
Because it just doesn't want to come to terms with the fact that the name Palestine existed.
No, when
at the same time Jews existed. He's avoiding the 1920s at all costs. If you didn't notice.
Oh, the Nakba.
Well, that wasn't the Nakba. We don't call it the Nakba to us. We weren't Nakba. But the Jews were, there were 50 synagogues destroyed by Jordan in 1948.
You're from Georgia.
Every single Jew from East Jerusalem
How many mosques are destroyed by
completely cleansed.
How many
And for
mosques and
19
churches are
years,
destroyed by
Jews could
Israel?
not
Can you
come
tell
back
us
to
the
their
number?
homes in
Are you
Jerusalem.
reading
Can
from
you tell us how many mosques and
Hasbara
churches are destroyed by
Are
Israel?
you reading
There's
from
lots
the
of
same
photographic evidence
Hasbara
and
text
And
you've
there's
been
lots of
reading for the past
photographic
4
evidence to
years?
the
Everybody knows
generosity
that
of
Jordan
Muslims
Hasbara
occupied
agent.
Jerusalem
by
in
Israel.
1948.
Hasbara
So how many
agent. Stop reading.
churches and
Cleansed
mosques
all
were
the
bombed?
Jews. So that was
So how many
Hasbara
churches and mosques were bombed by Israel?
Mr. Hasbara.
Okay, your argument is nullified.
Mr. Hasbara
I
agent,
hope
why
that
are you
were
reading from a
actually able to
text?
hear what I said.
It's so funny.
Hasbara agent.
Okay, so are you ready to talk about the 1920s, or do you still not want to actually come to terms with the fact that the Jews existed prior to the creation of Israel?
Oh, and Biggie, in 1948, there were
Again,
6
he's reading
See,
from
he
a
does not
text.
want to talk about the
attacked
1920s. He
Israel
just doesn't want to.
after Israel accepted 2
Are
states.
you reading
Right.
from
Okay,
the
what about
text
before
on
Israel
paper
existed?
text?
Their
Because you're
official
saying
goal
Jews were
was to
expelled by
genocide
the
the
Muslims.
Jews.
And I'm just
They
wondering
wanted to
why
kick
you
the
think
Jews
that when
into
they
the sea.
literally
What's
helped
the
the
number
Arabs
of your
Israel won
glass?
that war in
during the time of the
1948.
English Mandate in the 20s.
What number are you wearing? Your glasses are
Right.
so...
Diego, your room
specs
is
are so
amazing.
thick.
It's amazing. I did find one intelligent
It is.
person.
Oh
I
my
found
God!
Biggie,
For
and we
once,
had a
in
sort of
one
had a
room,
conversation.
the guy doesn't get to do whatever the fuck he wants. Okay, again,
David?
1920s. Are you going to talk about the
count.
1920s, or are you just going to keep ignoring? If you're ignoring, I'm going to interrupt you for the next half an hour. I can keep going for an hour.
There you go, George Rovitsky. You're fucked.
This is exactly why the Palestinians
Exactly.
accomplished a
Are you
state
gonna
in
come to terms with
75
it, or are
years.
you gonna keep
They had
ignoring?
5 offers of a state. They
That's
refused
right.
it.
So you can keep going. I can keep bringing over you. There's no problem at all.
They ended up.
Are you going to talk about the 1920s and